All right, I just finished listening to the latest Art of Product podcast, and I have thoughts, and so I thought I'd record a quick video. So it starts off with Derrick having this observation about people who have signed up for the Level list.
First observation is something I already mentioned, that like 10 to 20% of people are the decision makers, probably on my list. And the rest are people who you might consider more in like the kind of the grassroots adoption level.
So Derrick has a waiting list for this new app he's building called Level. Level is a Slack competitor. On that list are a bunch of folks, 10% are decision makers, but 90% are just developers that are really intrigued by this idea. And naturally, they have this question, right?
How do I go about introducing this to my colleagues? And then how should I pitch this to my boss?
And really what you're wondering is, how does change happen in a team? What causes a team to switch from one product to the other? And, like when people switched from HipChat to Slack, what were all of the things that caused that to happen? And how did that actually materialize in a team? How did they convince the boss to go from HipChat to Slack? Now, I was just listening to Bootstrap Web, and Brian Casel has an interesting observation for the product he's building.
What I learned in a lot of these calls is that most people would be switching from something else to Process Kit. And they, when I ask them, like, what will the switching experience be like for you? Many of them say, well, I would probably plan on keeping both tools active for a little while. So they're going to continue to pay for the other tool while they're paying for Process Kit.
So I want to introduce two ideas that I've personally used on teams I've been in. I'm the guy that's often pushing for folks to switch from one product to the other, pushing the boss. Come on, boss, we got to do this. But there's a way you have to do it. So two ideas. One is the parallel trial, which Brian just talked about, and two is the covert trial. Basically, the parallel trial is, I'm going to keep paying for the other product I'm using because it's too risky to just stop, and I'm going to try this on the side. Maybe I'll try Level for our next project, right? We'll just use Level instead of Slack. Maybe I'll try Process Kit for our next project instead of using Basecamp. But I'm going to keep paying for Basecamp, right? That's the parallel trial. You got to be careful about when you charge for the parallel trial, because people are already paying for the other thing. And so if you charge too early, credit card up front, they might not be, it's less likely that someone on the team, like me, would be able to even start, right? This brings me to the covert trial. The covert trial is where the grassroots is saying, we're not going to tell the boss that we're signing up for this. Let's just start using Level on our own. And, Slack's still running. The rest of the team's on Slack, but we're going to secretly start using Level. And once we have enough evidence to bring to the boss, then we'll bring it to him and show him what we've been doing. We'll show him how much it costs, all that stuff. That's how change in an organization happens. So the parallel trial, and then another version of the parallel trial, is the covert trial. And I think with both, you have to be careful where you charge, because until they can get that evidence that it works alongside whatever they're already paying for, until they can get that evidence, they're not going to be able to bring it to their boss.